Hey, Shalom Israel, Most High in Christ bless. This is 15 Minutes with the Captains. I'm Captain Josiah. Today's topic is going to be how they became us. How they became us. So we're going to jump it off with the book of 1 Maccabees in the Apocrypha, 1 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 1.
1 Maccabees chapter 2, verse 1. In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Jorib.
Right, so this brother Simeon here, okay, he was basically the progenitor of what we deem now as the Hasmonean dynasty, coming from the word Simeon, the name Simeon. Read on.
From Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. He had 5 sons, Johanan called Caddis, Simon called Thassi, Judas, who was called Maccabeus, Eleazar called Avaran, and Jonathan, whose surname was Aphis.
Okay, so the brother we're going to key in on today is Simon called Thassi, in verse 3. Read that part again. Verse 3.
Simon called Thassi.
Right, Simon called Thassi. So now let's flip over to 1 Maccabees chapter 13 and give me verse 42.
1 Maccabees chapter 13, verse 42. Then the people of Israel began to write in their instruments and contracts in the first year of Simon the high priest.
Right, Simon called Thassi. So he began to reign. This is his first year reigning right here. All right, give me verse 53.
Verse 53. And when Simon saw that John his son was a valiant man.
Now, Simon called Thassi, his son was a valiant man. Read on.
He made him captain of all the hosts.
Right. So now Simon's son John, he made him captain. Read it again.
He made him captain of all the hosts. And he dwelt in Gezara.
Okay. All right. From there, give me 1 Maccabees chapter 16 and verse 1.
1 Maccabees chapter 16, verse 1. Then came up John from Gezara and told Simon his father.
This is that same John, Simon's son John. Read on.
What Sendebeus had done. Wherefore Simon called his 2 eldest sons, Judas and John, and said unto them, I and my brethren and my father's house have ever from our youth unto this day fought against the enemies of Israel.
Read.
And things have prospered so well in our hands that we have delivered Israel oftentimes.
Come on.
But now I am old.
But now I'm old.
And ye, God's mercy, are of sufficient age. Be ye instead of me and my brother, and go and fight for our nation.
Right. So now this is Simon passing the torch to his 2 sons, right? Now, IT, give me that first link, all right? Give me that first link. So Simon had a son named John, and we're going to deal with this brother John and what happened when he began to reign, take over, okay? All right, yep. All right. We'll start right there with after.
After victoriously ending the war in Samaria, he proceeded to subdue the Edomites, always a menace to the southern parts of his domains. With funds which he said to have obtained from David's sepulchre, he hired foreign troops, dismantled Adorah and Marissa, the strong places of Edom, and forced the Edomites to accept the Jewish religion.
Read that part again.
And forced the Edomites to accept the Jewish religion.
Read it from dismantled.
Dismantled Adorah and Marissa, the strong places of Edom.
The strong places of Edom. Now, those of y'all that's been following along, we should know who Edom is by today. Okay, by now, you go back to Genesis 25, that's the so-called Caucasian race today. Read on.
The strong places of Edom and forced the Edomites.
So now the Edomites had 2 cities in this region, and he forced them what?
Forced the Edomites to accept the Jewish religion.
Now, IT, real quick, let's go back up to the top of this article real quick, and we'll come back. We got to see who we're talking about here, all the way up to the top. I just want y'all to see this, all right? Let's move it over just a little bit. So this is the Jewish Encyclopedia, and we're reading about John Hyrcanus, okay, which is the John we read about in the book of Maccabees, the son of Simon. So now go back down. I just want y'all to see who we were talking about. All right. All right, give me that again, officer, from Dismantled.
Yes, sir. Dismantled Adorah and Marissa, the strong places of Edom, and forced the Edomites to accept the Jewish religion.
John Hyrcanus forced the Edomites to accept our religion, our laws. Read on.
And submit to circumcision.
And to submit to circumcision, the covenant given to Abraham. Read on.
This is the first instance of forcible conversion in Jewish history.
This was the first instance of forcible conversion in our history. Now, you had a willing conversion back in the book of Esther, but this is forcible here. Read on.
In this, Hyrcanus allowed his zeal for the Jewish cause to lead him to take a step which later wrought harm.
Wait a minute. It's saying his zeal caused him to take a step which later wrought harm. And we're going to get more to that. Read on.
For to the Edomites belonged the family of the Herodians.
Now, I encourage everybody to go back and check out Bishop Yaroslaw's classes, Bishop Nathaniel. They went into more detail the Herodian dynasties. Read on.
The Samaritans, who still held their strongly fortified metropolis of Samaria, with a part of Jezreel, remained hostile toward the Jews.
Read on.
For this reason, Hyrcanus renewed his attacks upon them. He marched against Samaria at the head of a great army. But as his presence in Jerusalem was necessary, he left the siege of the former city to his two sons, Aristobulus and Artagoras.
Okay, so, but the main point I wanted is what it said up top, okay, about the forcible conversion. Can we read that one more time?
Yes, sir. This is the first instance of forcible conversion in Jewish history.
Come on, watch this.
In this, Hyrcanus allowed his zeal for the Jewish cause to lead him to take a step which later wrought harm.
Which later wrought harm. Okay. Now, give me the next page. Give me the book one. Give me that. And we're not going to give the pages or the book titles intentionally. We're not giving those away. You just screenshot it. You can have that. All right. Give me the first book.
It says, Hyrcanus took also Dora and Marissa.
This is the same John Hyrcanus. Read on.
Cities of Idumea.
Right.
And subdued all the Idumeans and permitted them to stay in that country if they would circumcise their genitals and make use of the laws of the Jews.
Right. Come on.
And that they were desirous of living in the country of their forefathers, that they submitted to the use of circumcision.
So they did submit to the use of circumcision. Read on.
And the rest of the Jewish ways of living. At which the time, therefore, this befell them, that they were hereafter no other than Jews.
Right. From this point, they became known as Jewish. Okay. Jewish. All right. Read on. Go down to the bottom. Give me that right there at the bottom.
All right. This account of the Idumeans admitting circumcision and the entire Jewish law from this time or from the days of Hyrcanus is confirmed by their entire history afterwards.
Watch this.
This, in the opinion of Josephus, made them proselytes.
They were proselytes, meaning converts. Okay, come on.
Of justice or entire Jews.
Read on.
However, Antigonus, the enemy of Herod, though Herod were derived from such a proselyte,
it says Herod were derived from such a proselyte. So the Herodians, again, came from those proselytes. Read on.
Though Herod derived from such a proselyte of justice for several generations, will allow him to be no more than a half Jew.
Or Jewish. You wish. were Jews, okay? It allowed them to be no more than half Jews. That's why they called themselves Jewish, half Jews, kind of like, sort of. Read on.
Ammonius, a grammarian, says the Jews are such by nature.
Meaning the Israelites. Those by blood are born Israelites by nature, okay? There's no conversion. Read on.
And from the beginning.
And from the beginning. We're born like that. Read.
Whilst the Idumeans,
the Edomites,
were not Jews from the beginning.
Come on.
But Phoenicians and Syrians.
So it's telling us right, the Idumeans were never Jews from the beginning. They converted. They were forcibly converted, which we already read by John Hyrcanus, the son of Simon. Read.
But being afterwards subdued by the Jews and compelled to be circumcised and to unite into one nation and be subject to the same laws, they were called Jews.
They became Jews. They were called Jews or Jewish. Read on.
Dio also says that country is also called Judea, and the people Jews, and this name is given also to many as embrace their religion, though of other nations.
So that's an example why it says it wrought harm, because now they decided to open it up for everybody. Now you can also convert to be a Jew and so forth. Okay. All right. IT, give me the next one. All right. Read what you got.
Yes, sir. It said, after his victory over the Samaritans, Hyrcanus marched against the Idumeans. This people, although fallen very low during the many vicissitudes of fortune, attending the constant changes of the Macedonian and Asiatic dynasties, and forced by the Nabateans to leave their dwellings, had alone, among all the tribes related by blood to the Judeans, being able to maintain themselves, and had preserved their ancient bitter animosity against them at undiminished.
All right, come on.
Hyrcanus laid siege to their two fortresses, Odora and Marissa, and having demolished them, gave the Idumeans the choice between acceptance of Judaism and exile.
Okay, you either accept our religion, circumcise, or get out. Okay, now let's skip down. Let's skip to at the bottom where it says John Hyrcanus there. Let's get to the point.
John Hyrcanus practiced intolerance against faiths, but it soon found out with deep pain how highly injurious it is to allow religious zeal.
Now, we're going to get into more detail. Remember, the other article said it caused great harm, okay, cause harm. Read that part again.
John Hyrcanus practiced intolerance against faiths, but it soon found out with deep pain how highly injurious it is to allow religious zeal for the preservation of the faith to degenerate into the desire to effect violent conversion of others.
This became a major problem. That's what some of our brothers are dealing with now. Our brothers that y'all might see in Hollywood and so forth. They coming out saying, no, we're the original people, and they're not allowed to say that. Okay, give me the next one, IT. All right, give me the next one real quick. The top of that next page. Watch this. Watch what it says here.
This enforced union of the sons of Edom with the sons of Jacob was fraught only with disaster to the latter.
Meaning Jacob. Only disaster to Jacob, the true Israelites. Read.
It was through the Idumeans and the Romans.
Meaning they worked together. They're the same people, but different sects of them. Read on.
That the Hasmonean dynasty was overthrown.
They overthrew the Hasmonean dynasty. They worked together and overthrew us. Read on.
And the Judean state destroyed.
Okay, so now, give me Sirach 12. It says the Judean state was destroyed. All right. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10.
The book of Sirach 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
You hear what the Bible says here? Never trust thine enemy. Read on.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
So iron, when left out, it's going to rust. That's the wickedness of the enemy. That's why it says never trust him. Read on.
Though he humble himself and go crouching, Yet take good heed and
So the humbling and crouching is, okay, we want to stay in the land. We're going to accept your religion. We're going to circumcise. We submit to you, John Hyrcanus. Read on.
And beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou had wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away.
His rust, meaning his wickedness, is never going to go anywhere. It's going to manifest itself eventually. Read on.
Set him not by thee.
You hear what the Bible says here? Set him not by thee. Don't make a covenant with him. Okay? No, you can't follow our religion. Read on.
Lest when he have overthrown thee.
And that's what happened. He overthrew us. Read. Watch this.
He stand up in thy place.
That's what happened. We set him by us. Then he stood in our place. He stood in our place. Read on.
Neither let him sit at thy right hand.
The Bible told us we should not have let him do that. Read.
Lest he seek to take thy seat.
And that's what they did. They sought to take our seat. Read.
And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith.
You see that? And that's what's happening now. Now brothers can't even say we're the original people. We are the Jews. Now our brothers can't even say that. Okay? Getting stripped of all wealth, finances, endorsements, being made to a public spectacle in front of the world. Read on. Watch this.
Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts?
Now it says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? We're supposed to know this man's nature by studying the scriptures. The Most High already told us who they were. So we were not supposed to set them by us. Okay? So with that, we say shalom.
Shalom.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.